All right, this is Keep Press and Play, episode 7.
Episode 7. I'm
And
Cameron Sable.
Cody Sable, and thanks for tuning in. As always, if you're enjoying the content, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell as well, so that you get alerts when we put out new content.
Right. Share it with your friends. And so we'll see what we get into today. We don't really have a script, so
I'm gonna start with a couple discount codes. Sable Mountain Ox gets 20% off. This array of products here brought to you by Mountain Ox. Yes, we like Mountain Ox, and if you're gonna hate on it because of whatever, hate on it because of whatever. But
even before he got his discount code, again, that code is Sable, S-A-B as in boy, O-L. Even before he got his discount code, we were avid Mountain Ox gear and supplement folks. We like the products that they produce, so that's why we use them. And Cody was fortunate enough to be able to get a discount code and help you guys get some money off of these awesome products. Obviously, we enjoy them. If you've never heard of them, you can head over to mountainox.com, and again, use discount code SABLE, 20% off. I personally like the Ignite. It's got the nootropics along with the caffeine. It's a staple for sure. They have the Yeti, that's more of the pre-workout with the beta-alanine. They have an array of products.
Hydrate. They've got new sour watermelon Hydrate, as well as Enduro, which is brought to you by Mayhem Hunt, which is Rich Pony. So lots of products. Creatine. Check out for creatine. A lot of benefits with that. So.
Then on the other side, that's just all supplements. They have
merino wool products.
A lot of gear for your hunting necessities. Like he mentioned, the merino underlayers, merino boxers, merino leggings. I thoroughly enjoy those because you can zip those off. They have a whole bunch of stuff. They have casual wear. You see him wearing a t-shirt there. They have several t-shirts that you could select from. They have an array of hats. They got the whole nine. So I definitely encourage you to go over, check it out. Use discount code SABLE, get you some money off.
Yep, check the link. Use SABLE. You won't regret it. Lots of stuff, including one of my new favorite products. I'll say this, and then I think we just need to move on. This is not a sales pitch, but that clear protein, it's money. Mix it with warmer water, shake it up, let it sit for 5-10 minutes, put ice in it or pour it on ice, and dude, it is a treat, especially post-workout. I'm honestly not a big protein. I'd rather just eat a steak. That's just me.
Yeah.
But as far as getting something quick, dude, so good. So if you haven't tried it, you should try this out.
I hadn't tried it.
But yeah, anyway, then Dark Energy, Sable 10, and then it's just the discount code. But those Rise bars, they will definitely be with me on my trip. I love those things. 5 ingredients, Sable 15. It's gonna get you a % off there. And then also, I'll just say, check out the Dead Nuts targets. I'm with Dead Nuts as well now.
Okay, I didn't know that.
And awesome targets. Has the Quivar app as well, which can show you where you hit the vitals. Pretty sweet stuff. So go to Dead Nuts. I don't have a discount code for you, but check the product out. It's really cool stuff. So, but anyway, let's move on to the bread and butter. Let's talk about some things. So,
all right. Yeah.
We are, by the time you're hearing this, the last one should have already posted. I've been having some editing things and some stuff going on with that video, but
you may either be in the woods or you're on your way to the woods.
Yeah, I'm probably going to drop it, right before. So
yeah.
But anyway, elk season's around the corner. Hoping to tag, not hoping, going to be tagging out. And Blaine, when you hear this, I cannot wait to watch you cry your little eyes out when you tag out. Feeling those feelings. He said, I don't know if I'll have emotional experience. I was like, oh, you will. I know it. So he's getting ready. So it's going to be awesome. And yeah, so what are you going to talk about today? Any agenda?
I know we talked about exercising and things that we could do to help your backcountry hunts. With you heading out there, what do you think are some necessary gear? I think maybe we touched on it a little bit the last one. I would say that comms would probably be A1. It's not needed, but with me having 4 kids, wife back home, the first couple years, I was able to have enough signal to be able to talk to them at least each night. The last year I went, I was not as fortunate, and I think it took a hard toll on me, honestly. So I would say the Zoleo, which the last trip we went on, I was going to purchase one, but I was cheap and backed out last minute, and I thoroughly regretted that decision. So I think if you have a family or any significant other or someone that you are used to talking to on the daily, I think comms is for sure something that you need to make sure you're having. But that's just me. Obviously, there's other hunting specific gear. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I enjoy having the Solio. Even when I'm unable to speak to Katie, I enjoy being able to conversate via text message.
Right, yeah.
The newest thing is the newer iPhones supposedly have SATCOM. Now, I think it's 14 and up. So I was gonna maybe just see if it works. I'm really unsure. But supposedly you can use the satellites with your phone and have the ability to at least communicate via text. I don't know about calls, but I'm not going to rely on that. I'm going to have a Zolio.
Yeah.
But it would be a good thing I'm going to try out in the field this year.
Yeah.
Just to see what it actually does. Actually, I'm going to try it out before I go, actually, is what I'm going to do. But it's been low on the priority list because, I do have a Zolio.
Right.
Blaine's got a Zolio he'll be running too. So
yeah.
So that'll be good just to be able, because we might split up. We may run some days together, we might split up, but we already got a game plan. We got some cameras out over some areas, and we'll go in and we'll check them, but pretty much planning on running a similar game plan, and if things aren't going the way that we want them to, pivot. But yeah, comms is huge. I don't want to run any rabbits yet. I think, and I've said, I just want to clarify, because I've said before, it's like, oh, I'm a horse, I'd rather have it than not have it. But there's also a balance of, you can load everything you think you may need.
Yeah.
But every year, it doesn't matter. Like, I try to keep my pack as light as possible with the most stuff that I want. After day 1, you're like, that's out, that's out, that's out. Day 2, that's also out now.
Yeah.
Day 3, that's gone. And then you're just, you just figure out what's your bare minimal, or what you're willing to run with.
Right.
When I say that, I always carry at least, and this is just me personally, and people watching this, they may find that they don't need that. Like Dan, for example. I don't know. He may not need as much water. He don't sweat like I sweat. Like I sweat. So I'm losing tons of water. I'm losing tons of electrolytes. So I probably run more electrolytes than the average person. I'm also drinking no less than 3 liters in the field.
Yeah.
No less than that.
Right.
And I mean, sometimes I'm carrying 4 because I might end up drinking 4 liters of water that day. But if I get 3, sometimes and if I'm always by water, sure, you maybe don't need as much. That's not always the case.
Right.
And I hate having to go find water in the middle of the day. Like, I know some people are all about that and whatever, and they're like, oh, I'll just carry, whether this is a hydro flask or whatever, I'll just carry that and I'll dip it and do my SteriPen. That's cool. If that's what you run on, that's fine. But it's not the way I run, and I need more fluids.
Yeah.
And I've been dehydrated. And that's a non-negotiable for me. I'm not going to be without water. I can go without food. And that's just the basic general human life needs. You can go without food for a long time. You cannot go without water.
Right.
And especially not when you're up and down,
yeah.
putting miles in. And, if you're stationary and you're just sitting in your glassing, sure, fine. But in thick country and you're going through to locate them, and, you might find water, you might not, you might know. And I just, a good stream, that's great. But I'm not one that just loves to drink random water either, so. But anyway, water's a non-negotiable. Your med kit.
Yeah,
and
that's a good one.
My med kit's way better than most people's. I can guarantee that. I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
I've got it. And my med kit probably weighs more than the average person's. But again, and we talked about this on was it last or 2 podcasts ago maybe.
With the hand.
The last one that posted 5.
Yeah.
Things are going to happen, man. Like, if I didn't have the stuff I had in my med kit, that probably would have caused me a day of hunting.
Yeah.
But because it did, I was able to deal with it in the field. We continued to hunt. And then I finished dealing with it when I got to the truck.
Right.
But, not everybody is a doctor and has sutures in their kit either. But I'm just saying, have super glue. Because then if you cut yourself really bad, get the bleeding to stop and put it back together and at least glue it for the time being. I know that's not ideal. But if you want to continue hunt, or you want to go to the ER,
yeah,
make those decisions. I'm the kind of person that's which I order online, the liquid stitches. So that's better than super glue. But what I'm saying is if you want emergency crash course, quickest, easiest thing, get some super glue.
Yeah.
Is it healthy? Is it the best healthy option? No. Will it keep you from bleeding out? Yes. Quick clot. I always have it. I have quick clot in my kit. Because guess what? What if you fall? What if you're going across deadfall and you fall and you get jabbed?
Yeah.
You better have something to stop that bleeding.
Right.
It's not going to feel good, but you shove that quick clot in there. It's going to burn, but you're going to stop bleeding.
Yeah.
It's going to save your life.
Yeah.
I have one of those. In addition to quick clot, I have one of those puncture seals. So that if you fall and puncture yourself, it closes that hole up.
Yeah.
So shove quick clot in it, put that over top of it. Those are things that I'm just you can say, oh, I don't need that. You can be all the bad dude that you want to be. Guess what? It doesn't matter how bad you are, stuff happens.
Yeah.
And you just never know. So, have all of that galls. I always carry Benadryl. I always got Epi with me. I got injectable Benadryl. I use the liquid capsule Benadryls because the way that that's going to get into your bloodstream faster. So, for example, I'm stung by a yellow jacket. I pop that out. I put it in my mouth. I pop that liquid Benadryl. It's going to make my whole mouth numb a little bit, but I crush it with my teeth and let it sit under my tongue so that it goes straight into my bloodstream versus putting it in your mouth, letting the gelatin capsule dissolve in your stomach, take a minute for it to get in there.
Yeah.
No. So there's just little things, and some of that's just my doctor mind, but that's just the way that I run things. And then yeah, I'll throw a pack of sutures in there if I got to suture something. I have anesthetic without epinephrine in it, so if I need to numb myself up, I got that. I usually carry an insulin syringe, and this is the backwoods way of doing it, but in that car full of anesthetic, I draw it back out, which is what I did with my thumb. I drew it out of the top that would normally have a plunger go into, a needle hub to go into it through that rubber, pull it back out, inject it in. If I need it, if I need to give myself stitches. If you had to, sure, you could give yourself stitches without anesthetic, but I wouldn't call that. You got to be a bad dude to do that. That's going to hurt bad.
Yeah.
It's going to hurt bad. So, that's just,
yeah. And I would definitely say your med kit is more advanced, having access to some of that stuff, being, a doctor of dentistry.
But even if you just had a thread, if you had thread like you were going to sew your pants with,
right? Yeah,
and a needle, and a curved needle, if you were in a pinch,
you could do it.
You could,
yeah.
But again, just use super glue. Like, if you really are worried about it, use super glue. It's the country boy way, but it's gonna stick it together.
Electrical tape.
You could super glue.
Duct tape, electrical tape. That's for the less sophisticated folk. But the point being, I do agree with you. Medkit needs to be like high priority on the list, because you never know what's going to happen. Depending on where you're hunting, you could, have an animal, come up on you, and maybe it's not, something that you have to leave the woods, but
yeah,
you could get stung, you could get, like you said, there's a lot of different scenarios that can happen when you're back there.
But some people carry Band-Aids. They'll carry like Band-Aids and ibuprofen. That's fine. That's fine. That's only going to cover you but so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. I just agree with you. A med kit, an extensive med kit. Obviously you don't want to think about those things, but think about something. A tourniquet would definitely be necessary. Going over,
blowdown.
Downfall, blowdown. I would say that's probably, and then if you're archery hunting, you're running through the woods with a broad, who knows what could happen. You don't want to think about it, but it's very possible. And a tourniquet could save your life. Yeah, you can have your belt if you don't want to buy a tourniquet. But a lot of those med kits that you can get a med kit on Amazon that comes with most of what he said. Tourniquet, Benadryl, that sort of thing. They got pretty extensive med kits on Amazon, I know, and I'm sure they have them everywhere else too. So yeah, that's a good one.
Have it close to where you have access to it. It doesn't do you any good to take your med kit and shove it in the bottom of your bag. If you're bleeding out and you need to get to your tourniquet fast, if it takes you 5 minutes to get your bag off, undone, pull everything out, get to the bottom, if this was my bag, my med kit needs to be either here on the side or here on the top, in your lid, in a pocket up front, in a side pocket, somewhere where you could throw your bag off, you reach, you grab it, you unzip, you got your med kit, you pull it out, you know where it's at.
Yeah.
It needs to be that way. I I don't care even if all of you got is a tourniquet, ibuprofen, and gauze. If that's all you're going to run, I think a tourniquet's a non-negotiable. And it always is. I always have a tourniquet with me.
Yeah, I would say, you know, even if you don't go out and buy a med kit, I would say you need a tourniquet. Because you just never know what's going to happen. But with that, I would also say, you know, just like your other equipment, I would be familiar with whatever you're packing in your med kit. I would say be familiar with how it works or how to use it. Because it would be a shame, God forbid, you get out there, yeah, I have this tourniquet, but how the heck does it work? How the heck does it work? I got this tourniquet. They said get the tourniquet. You know, I've heard multiple people say, you know, have a tourniquet when you're in the backcountry. I got one, but how the heck does this work? Let me try to find some kind of, you know, and then you're in the backcountry. You probably don't have a signal. You're probably not going to be able to research or figure out how to use it. So I would say, again, be familiar with what you have in your med kit and know how to use it, know how it works, know what you should do with each component that's in your med kit. Because if you don't know how to use it, you might as well not take it. And, you know, that almost sounds, you know, contradicting to what we're saying, but it's cool if you have it, but if you don't know how to use it, it does you no good at all. Yeah. So that's why I say be familiar with what's in your med kit, the same way that you would want to be familiar with, you know, your gun if you're a gun hunter, or obviously your bow. If you're archery hunting, you want to know your equipment. The same, I believe, applies for your med kit.
And if you can't afford a tourniquet, man, like, have some length of paracord there, ready to go. And either have some kind of,
you can get a sturdy stick,
or you get like one of those long nails.
Yeah,
I mean that's gonna be a weight penalty. But something, if you just have paracord and a nice sturdy stick, you tie that thing off and you start to twist it. That could save your life.
Yeah.
Just knowing a couple of those things. And you listen to this, you're like, that's silly. Like, that's never going to happen. I never thought standing on a stick or a dead tree this big would cause it to fly up and slice my hand open either.
Yeah.
And that could have just as well been my face.
Yeah.
It could just well been a
that
major
main artery
in my arm.
Yeah.
Your femoral artery in your leg. You hit the femoral artery, good luck. Femoral artery, good luck. You're going to die fast if you don't get the blood to stop.
Well, I mean, and two, you said your face. Think about your jugular. I mean, you got like...
If that would have happened...
You got less than 30 seconds. Like,
yeah.
Load that junk. What was that guy that the 50 cal or whatever blew up in his face and he nicked his jugular? He stuck his thumb in it.
I don't know. Are you talking about from Pearl Harbor movie?
No. It was a real guy. I can't remember his name. He's
I don't know.
a YouTuber. Some of you may know, but yeah, he had reloads and it was too hot and the barrel blew up. The barrel blew up and nicked his jugular. He ended up sticking his thumb in his neck where he got hit and just kind of crunched down on it till he got to the hospital.
Again, that's a great thing to have. Quick clot and one of those puncture. It's like not a sleeve, but like a
ERT. We have it,
and you put it on there and it seals the wound.
It's most of the time used for like gunshot wounds.
Wound seals, yeah. So
cavity wounds
like that. So you just never know. Anyway, I mean, you get burned a couple times and then you. But if you're not prepared and you get burned, it could cost you your life.
Yeah.
And then that's that's like just like other things. It's like, well, most of the time in September it's not super cold, but I've been snowed on twice in September, early September and late September.
Just our last hunt together, we it was fine, pretty comfortable down, like 60s at the bottom and we went up that ridge and it was daggum snowing.
That's right. I remember off that back face.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's the mountains, and it could be, you could have hail today. You could have snow tomorrow. It could be a desert hot, but then all of a sudden it's 27 at night too.
Yeah.
So, and that had me thinking about when you fell into that. I mean, I think that was technically a beaver dam more than anything, but
the muddy water.
Yeah. Honestly, we could have stayed in the field. You could have put your puffy on.
Which Kellen had the extra clothes. I had changed out of my wet clothes. I think the only thing that you were concerned about was my sleeping bag being wet. But
yeah. And it could have still worked, but I can't even remember if yours was synthetic or down. If it was down, it was really trash. If it was synthetic, you'd have been all right. I had the stove, would have been all right, but I was just, in my mind, I was like, we're so close to the truck. We weren't really that close to the truck, but we were close enough that we could have walked back. And I don't know. I mean, that was a late season September hunt for us. So it was also getting pretty cold at night. I mean, it was getting low 20s.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was cold. And I was like, it's not even worth it.
Yeah.
We can come back. We won't come that route again. I mean, there were elk in that. I mean, they were in there, but that was one of those things where I was like, man, I wish I had a pack raft. That would have made that really simple.
Yeah. That's something that I didn't really think about really probably until, which I mean, I'd heard like Brian Call using pack raft on his bear hunts, and I think Mark Livesey also uses that on some of his bear hunts. It's not something that I really thought about on an elk hunt, but I could see, especially if you're near big water sources, rivers, it could definitely come in handy.
Yeah, I just thought that based on what we were seeing on the map, we'd be able to cross that river easier than we were able.
Yeah.
Whatever. I mean, it's just one of those things. I mean,
you think that's a necessity though, or just a luxury?
Probably a luxury. It depends on the area. Brian and them use it. One, they're hunting in Alaska. They're hunting when they're hunting spring bear.
You got the
snow melt that you worry about. So they could go in and it not be, you could be walking across it. And then when you come back out, it's a raging river.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a little different, but I would say if you know you're going to be in an area where you're trying to cross the river, which like we were, to try to get to a place that was hard to access, would have been nice.
Yeah.
And I also was thinking that the place we were crossing would have been easier for us to wade across. The river was much deeper than we expected there. And then you were dealing with beaver dams in certain areas, which was then causing it to have this tributary like runoffs, which so you had like streams coming off of the main river. So then you were in marsh, bog, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. So like that place where we were, it was kind of weird. It was almost, there was like some of those areas we're walking across, like I would take my stick and I'm like, is that grass? Because some of that's like floating grass almost, and it's like you could go straight through it.
Yeah.
And then some of it, even though it was like floating grass, it was still hard enough you could walk across it, but it made me feel uncomfortable. But that's just one of them things that you learned. Is it a necessity? No. But if you know you're going to an area like that, then I would say yes.
Yeah, that's fair.
Or even like hip waders or something. But even if we had hip waders, that river was too deep. I mean, I think it would have been over the hip. If we got in that water, it would have been, it would have been up to my chin.
When I fell in, I got chest deep.
And were you touching the bottom? I don't think so.
Yeah.
You were?
Yeah.
So
Because my foot kept going deeper as I tried to jump back up on the log. So I was trying to keep my bow out of the water. I was trying to keep most of what equipment I could out of the water. But every time I jumped, I would just go down further.
I've been thinking about that spot a lot lately because of where it was. We could have put up the TP right there in that last meadow we were in. They were rutting there.
I mean, that's where we heard them screaming.
I know.
Right from base camp, the first night we came in.
That's just stupid stuff that we did. And
Well, and then we found that
making emotional decisions, and
we found that access too. We had to go way around.
but we're trying to get away from where people are. Was the thing.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Because in that access, there were all the horse.
that was such a weird access too. I just messed up. It's whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'd hunt that spot again too. I really would. I would go early season.
They were in there
Again,
for sure.
I would go. I like early season.
They don't talk as much, but we've said it before. I think at least our experience has been Colorado. In Colorado, early season is your best shot to kill a mature bull, I think.
Let's not say anymore. I'm giving away too much. Everybody and the brother. I don't know. I mean, a lot of people are being done with Colorado. I mean, we don't have points, so like, I mean, not like that. Like, not like Dan and not like some of these other people that have been waiting
18,
years and years and years. For us, the change is actually beneficial.
Yeah.
Somebody like me, this is a great thing. Like, I can put in for the best tag, and there's a chance.
So you're saying I have a chance.
Yeah.
Saying there's a chance.
So there's a chance for sure. So for me, it's a great thing. For you, it's a great thing.
Yeah.
But for people that's been putting in points their whole life or for the last 15, 20 years,
not so much.
it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
So, it's all relative in what you look at. But yeah, no, a good pack. I mean, you don't have to have a great pack, but it makes your life easier. I mean, you can have a book bag if you're just day hunting.
Yeah.
Excuse me, if you're just day hunting, but I've been running that initial ascent, and I've been just like keeping it right about 65 pounds. Just making sure I'm adjusting it and getting exactly how I want it. I got the pack dialed, like to hold weight and how I want it on my hip and how I want it on my shoulder, and just practicing carrying weight. And then just sometimes I just wear it and I'm like, I'll just put it on and then I'll just do my things around the house.
Yeah.
Like, I might not actually really be doing anything.
Well,
I mow the grass maybe with it. I will whatever with it. But sometimes just doing stuff like bending over to tie your shoe, or you're like, oh, that's stupid, but it worked. I told Blaine this. It works muscles that you don't think about.
Yeah. Yeah. You're acclimating your body to something that it's not used to. If you just go straight into the backwoods with your brand new pack, you've never even tried it on before, you packed it in, you just bought it, man, I love this pack, it had good reviews, and you get it on, probably, I mean, it's just like a boot. Like, you don't want to buy a brand new boot and go in the backcountry. You want to break it in, kind of, and it goes back to knowing your equipment. We said know your gun, know your bow, know your medic pack, know your actual pack out bag, how it works, where your components are. If I undo this strap, I can get X amount of more cubic inches or whatever. Know how it expands, know how it breaks down. If you have one that you're self-building, like the Kafaru stuff, know how you're going to run it, how you're going to attach it, that sort of thing. But yeah, I think that's a good point. A good pack, which, I mean, So the first couple years I went, I think I had, a Horn Hunter, which it was a great pack.
Horn Hunter is a great pack.
It was a great pack. It had a lot of.
I had the full curl system.
It had a lot of pockets. It was good. It was a good beginner pack, but going from that pack to my Mystery Ranch pack and having it, I know Mystery Ranch had certain like height and weight. That's how they gauge their medium, large, whatever, however they do their stuff. But having it fit and kind of somewhat tailored to myself, the difference between my Mystery Ranch pack and my Horn Hunter and how much I could carry and that sort of thing, it was really mind-boggling when I made that switch.
Yeah.
So, and I'm sure the initial scent is,
I will say it carries weight very well. What I can say, but what I've ran that Kufaru for years, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm slow to change, but it gives me a little anxiety to think that I'm gonna take it with me in case I decide I want to run it, but I've just been used to that. I know what's in this pocket, what's in that pocket, and it's very customizable, and I really like that about Kufaru.
Yeah,
I really like that about Kufaru. But and it carries weight. I carried. I was telling Blaine, when you do the math on what I had in my bag, plus all the meat that I was carrying, I was doing 220 pound plus loads. And if you're watching this and saying BS, no BS. I had a rear quarter, a front quarter. That'd be the most minimal, plus my standard. So even if you just said that was 50 pounds, plus at least, you could say conservatively 70 pounds, but probably like 75 pounds a piece, front and back, plus your regular. So at least 200.
Yeah.
At least 200. So, but my bag, I watched Brian and some of these people and like John Barklow and probably even Dan, like they probably don't carry that much in their pack. Like, but if you're packing in, like say for example, we're packing in, you're going to be running at least minimal 1 pound of food per day, which is probably more realistically closer to 2 sometimes. Depends on how much you're going to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Say you're going in for 5 days. So if I'm going in for 5 days, I'm bringing 7 days worth of food.
Yeah.
That's just me, because I've went in saying I'm going to bring in 3 days worth of food. And then I'm in the elk and I'm like,
I don't want to get out of here.
I need to be here 5 days. And I've went 5-6 days on 3 days of food. And I'm just hoping that I find a grouse to shoot. Because I'm like, okay, now I'm starting to ration, and I can have 2 beef sticks today, and then like an RX bar, which is no calories.
Yeah.
And I've done it, and then it's when there's those times when like you're about to make it happen, because it's like something just, I don't know what that is. It's like you're hungry but I can also get you in a mess. Then you don't even have energy to go the next day. You can go a day or two with like almost no calories, but then your body's going to hit a wall.
Yeah.
You can't expenditure 5,000 calories.
I was going to say, not when you're expending
you just
that
can't.
way.
You just can't. And that's just like,
that's why those meals have, outrageous amounts of calories. You're looking at like 50 to 70 carbs in a meal per serving or whatever. That's because you need that when you're out there expending, like you said, 5,000 calories in a day. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Fine. I was just sitting here thinking, because I was watching another video that Brian Call posted recently. It was where the peaks board went on a fishing trip with the whole executive board of Pete's.
Okay.
And he was talking about how if I had a freeze right dryer, freeze right sponsor us. But yeah, so he's just cutting up like steak in really thin strips, grilling it, then freeze drying it. I would love to do that. But still, even so, I've ran carnivore. It is a lot harder to run carnivore on the mountain. Now, if you're not really expending that many calories and you're really, no offense, but you're fat, yeah, you can do that because then your body's going to kick in and start eating your fat. But if you're a low body fat percentage, I think you need to be dual trained on being able to run on ketone bodies, which means when your body has used up all of your glycogen storage in your muscles, which is 30 grams, then your liver kicks in and it starts to turn fat into a ketone body, which is the only thing that your brain can use besides glucose for energy. So when you go into ketosis, your body just starts burning on fat. I love it. But you should be able to also run on carbs. You should be able to do both. Because carbs, I've went a long time without carbs, and then I've played with carbs and done different. Carbs are not the devil. Carbs are a necessary energy source.
Yeah.
It benefits you to run on carbs. Now, if I run great on low carbs, but when I'm out there, I just try not to eat trash. That's the key.
Yeah.
Like some people, they run on M&Ms and Skittles. I'm like, bro, I'm already feel like somebody hit me with a bus when I wake up here out of bed. When you wake up there and you're at elevation and you've already just did a couple days of 8-9 mile days at elevation with weight on your back and your feet hurt and your knees hurt and everything hurts. If you're eating all this inflammatory food, you're going to feel real wrecked.
Yeah.
And maybe if you're 20 years old and you listen to this and you can eat whatever, that's fine. Good for you. But I'm also not one that's into eating colors and high fructose corn syrup and all this other crap. My philosophy is I try to stay as tight and as clean as possible when I'm hunting. I make some sacrifices and say, okay, I wish Pete's Mills was cleaner. Wish it didn't have this or wish it didn't have that or whatever. On a normal circumstance, am I going to eat something that maybe I'm like, I don't really like that, but whatever. But that's why I try to stay like the honey stingers. It's going to be a cleaner. Yes, it's carbs, it's sugar, but it is a cleaner version of that versus eating Skittles.
Yeah.
But if that's you, then eat your Sour Patch Kids and because I think it's good to have those things that like make you happy. For me, like those honey stingers make me happy. I like that.
like fruit gushers.
It's like 2 packs of that. It's like, oh.
I let the kids have some a while back. Had some left over from our last hunt. Had them in the cabinet, and they ate them, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, those are so good!"
Yeah, they're good.
I'm like, yeah.
Another thing I found I really enjoy, and I got these at Harris Teeter. It's like some organic, they're basically like gummy strips. They're like fruit strips.
Okay.
It's like organic apple juice, blueberry juice, pectin, and then it'll have like carrot juice and a couple other things in it for color, but they're like basically like gummies, and they're just like strips. So I found I like those. Run some beef sticks. Break my belly in the afternoon with Pete's. Look, I'm a fatty, and I'm a big eater, and I have a good metabolism.
Yeah.
At a minimal, I'm eating 2 when I get back to camp. And some nights I will pop that belly with 3. And then I'm like, I wish I wouldn't have tried to eat 3, and you're like forcing that last little bit. But there's been times where I'm like, I'm just gonna roll this guy up and I'm gonna finish it tomorrow. I just can't. And then I'm like, well, it's not gonna be as tasty tomorrow. I'll unroll it and I'll sit there and eat it slow.
See, that's also the thing. Usually, we don't jet boil a meal in the day. Like, we'll have snacks for the day, and then our big calories are at night before we go to sleep.
Yeah.
I think that was another thing that affected me last year. That was the first year that there were days that I was just tired and I went to bed without
I'm not eating tonight. I'm like, bro, you need to eat. Too tired.
But then the next day, I would pound 3, you know. But, yeah, I don't recommend doing that.
But that's the thing. When you are expending that kind of calorie, when you're in that kind of calorie deficit, and you're at elevation, and you're tired, you're not gonna feel like eating. You're just not. And so you have to make yourself eat, because there's also been times where I'm an intermittent faster. I fast almost daily.
Right.
And there's been days where I'm like, I'm just not gonna eat anything all day. Well, I will tell you this, for me personally, when I'm also not eating, for me, I'm also going to be drinking more water as well. I'm also going to be losing more electrolytes, going to be peeing more. Those are the times where I've also got myself in a dehydration pinch, where I wasn't eating. I was losing more electrolytes just in general. I'm not replenishing my body's energy sources at all. And those years, I was coming in really single-digit body fat.
Yeah.
And so that's also changed for me. Be in shape, but I'm not really interested in coming in. Like, I will actually, like, right before my hunt, like, try to bulk up a little bit. Like I'm gonna eat whatever, because I'm about to lose it all.
Yeah.
Because even if I'm eating 3,500 calories a day, which, if you do, it's not really easy. Humor me. Eat that here now. I would say most people don't even get close. Like, when people are like, I'm trying to get muscle, they're not eating enough.
Yeah.
Or like people be like, well, I don't want to get too muscular. It's not easy unless you're running something.
Yeah.
And I mean, building muscle is not easy, but losing it is.
Yeah.
Because there's one thing your body can't make, and that's protein. But it will eat your muscle for protein if it needs it. You don't have to have a single carb. That's a fact. Your liver can make all the carbs, all the energy that it needs, and it can make carbs from fat. Gluconeogenesis.
I don't know all that scientific stuff. I mean, I'm pretty good with nutrition and that sort of thing, but I don't know about all that. You can add that.
But my point is, the only thing that you have to make sure you're hitting, in my opinion, and that's just across the board, home, wherever, you need to be counting. If you're not counting anything, you need to be counting your grams of protein that you eat a day.
Yeah, I agree.
Simple as that. Because if not, you're going to have muscle wasting. Your body will eat your muscle. Fact. So, just like, whether it's like, if the kids are like, I'm hungry, I'm like, finish that last bite of chicken, and then you don't have to eat the macaroni. Like, that's garbage anyway.
Yeah.
Just eat that bite of chicken.
You can ask my kids. That's.
But protein is, you have to have it.
Yeah.
Your body can't make it. But it can survive on fat, and it can survive on making its own energy source. It's pretty amazing what the body can do, but you need protein.
Yeah.
So that's and I can get real weird with it. I'm real big in nutrition and all that. And I've played with all the different ways. I've been paleo on the mountain. I've been carnivore on the mountain. I've been a combination of that. What are you laughing at?
Oh, paleo. Man, we thought those things were the bomb.
Are you talking about, what are those meals called? I think they changed the not Wild Society.
No. I can't remember, but they were paleo. They were paleo.
It's just so much fiber. It was just like,
But they were the bomb that first year we had them, bro.
the beef ones were my favorite.
I don't know. I like the chicken better.
I still have some of those meals, but
sorry,
no,
I just had it.
But you have to find what you enjoy eating. Like in those years, I thought it was like, I think they changed the formulation because then the year after that, I was like, tried to eat those and I was like, these things were great. I would rather the squirrels eat this than me. Like, I did not enjoy that meal anymore, you know, and it was just like straight chopped up broccoli. They were pretty clean though. But it was just
the macros were awesome, but what do you say? What do you say, Kellen? What do you? That's all Kellen had the last time. The last time we went,
no,
he was begging for somebody to trade him. He asked me, I don't know how many times for a stroganoff.
I traded him that or a Heather's Choice or something.
Yeah,
and I was like, gosh,
we traded up some. That was tough.
Well,
no, maybe that wasn't the last time. Maybe that
wasn't last time.
Because he had his own.
That was up on the mountain.
Yeah, old spot.
Yeah, OG spot. Yeah. So that was when you say last year, it wasn't last year. It was 2 years ago for you when you went.
Yeah.
So then the trip before that was
3 years
ago.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, and then I ran Heather's Choices. I like those. They're still good, but again, like
shepherd's pie.
The shepherd's pie was good.
No, it was.
It just takes more water, and they're still good.
I like the bison.
Those are super clean. Bison chili's great, but sometimes I'm not gonna lie, those next days, like it rumbles your gut a little bit, man. Like it's just all the beans and stuff, and then dehydrated food or freeze dried food per se more. When it's dried like that, even rehydrating it, like some of the stuff just. So that's why I would use extra water, and then if it says 10 minutes. When you're at elevation, maybe you let that thing soak for 15 or 20.
Yeah.
Like it's just some things you have to figure out. But Katie was looking at the meals the other day, and I have enough, but I wanted a couple extra beef strokes, and so I ordered just a couple more, and I was like, I told her like $12 a pop. She's like,
yeah.
I was like, yeah,
but
not cheap.
I will say. I mean, you can say what you want, but the Peaks Refuels, they're kind of like gourmet type freeze-dried.
They're pretty tasty. They're not as clean. They got some crap in it. I'm sorry. Like I'm big on having just clean ingredients. Like, you don't need caramel color. You don't need monoglyceride, this or that. You don't need, that's garbage. You don't need sodium benzenate. Like, you don't need some of this crap.
But my, are they tasty.
But they are tasty. But, I mean, yeah. So, I mean, but nutrition is key. You should have your nutrition pretty, and that's one of those things that's an ever morphing thing. Cause I've been going through food and like organizing everything. I still got a couple meal packs that are I had some stuff that unfortunately I had to throw away because I was like, it's dated. I opened it up. I was like, is it going to be good or bad? I was like, let's try this. I was like, oh, I had some Heather Choices. You remember those little coconut balls? There was like, the one was like the coffee chocolate one. Those were beautiful. And then they had like the mint chocolate ones. Those were like some treats for me in the afternoon post dinner that I used to do. And I was like, oh, I didn't realize these were in the bottom of my food bag. Because somehow they got tucked like underneath something. And I was like, oh, they're dated. And, you know, I'm like, well, yeah, I used to just put that stuff on there for whatever. And I open them up and they're moldy. And I was like, oh, open the next one, moldy. I was like, oh. I was like, that's just money wasted. But, but it's going to change. Point in saying was, that year when you fell into the river or the bog or whatever you want to call that, where we were, marsh. there was some stuff where then I started like, I wouldn't eat this part of my snack bag because I'd be like, it don't go down as smooth on the mountain.
Yeah.
Like it tasted great at home and it felt like it was going to be a great thing. But now,
Yeah.
it's not, I don't really want it. It doesn't appease me on the mountain. Like it was not appetizing to me in any way. So you find those things that are appetizing to you. And so like, I'm running a lot of rise bars this year. Of course, what did we just talk about? The honey stingers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Running those. Some beef sticks.
Yeah.
I'm gonna run some of those Mountain Op bars. They could be cleaner. I'll say that. I mean, I've even given feedback on that. That is a disappointing bar for me in some ways. I wish that the ingredient list was better. But it's a treat for me on the mountain. Like it's tasty.
Yeah.
And it gives me, what am I trying to say? Like if your thing's a Snicker bar, then bring yourself a Snicker bar.
Like a comfort food almost.
Comfort food. I'm like, ooh, that's tasty. That peanut butter is delicious.
Yeah.
You know, it's good. But do I like soy protein isolate? No. You know, but that's just one of those things. It's like back to peaks. Could be cleaner.
Yeah.
But it's very rewarding to just sit there and be like, dude, this beef stroganoff is so good.
Yeah.
Is Wild Society out of business?
I don't know.
Can't find them. I've looked on Go Hunt. I've looked on Black Ovis. The only thing that I could find was like protein waffles. And I almost ordered some and I was like, whatever. I'm not like a big like eat breakfast guy. My breakfast is some beef sticks, some honey stingers. If I'm at the truck, a bang.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, if you
Ignite.
was it? Yeah, it was Blaine. I was like, bruh, in that video with Dan, was that your bangs in the back of the truck? And I'm like, yeah, dude, I didn't know what Canada had. Like, I'm not driving across the country without my bangs. I crave those bubbles. And even somebody at work, they're like, I can't believe you drink that. Because I'm pretty clean, you know me. I'm going to eat clean food, but sometimes you just got to do what you want. So there's some things that you just got to have those pleasure foods.
Yeah.
You know, so, but, you know, just having a good food setup, knowing what you like, testing it, make sure it doesn't wreck your gut. I'm sorry, like there's no way to put it, but you got to know what that's going to do to you. And it's like, look, if cheesy broccoli, whatever makes you have
cheesy chicken broccoli
gas the whole rest of the day, then maybe that's not your meal.
Yeah.
If rice and chili's great, tastes good, but it makes you feel bad the next day, maybe that's not your meal.
Just kind of, I guess you could say a common theme to all of this is know your stuff. And when I say know your stuff, obviously I'm talking about your gear, from your pack to your bag to your food to your bow, gun, whatever. You have to know this stuff before you get in there. I think that would be a common theme. I know we've talked about several things, and I don't want to run too long, but I think another thing that you really need to make sure that you have nailed down is your boots. You've got to have your boots nailed down.
Sock care associated with that.
Yeah. Feet care in general, I would say. I know those boot dryers, those portable little boot dryers you got.
I have those Graxalls. Marty was telling me and showing me about a product that he used off of Amazon that has heat associated with it. I haven't had a huge issue. I did have my one pair of boots that got completely submerged and soaked, and it took them over a week to get fully dry, but I wasn't using them inside of like a heated tent or anything like that, which they would have dried faster that way. I just had them underneath my truck with the Graxall dryers, which still dried them out, but those were just so soaked. It was hard to recover back from that. So I I had 2 pair of boots last year, which is not always a normal, but it's a good thing to have. Like Dan says, 1 is none, 2 is 1.
Yeah.
But you can't. I understand you can't, when you're budgeting. There's some things that's like.
Yeah, I can't go
like,
to
I
with
hope
that
I'm only gonna need 1.
Yeah.
And if not, then I'm gonna be uncomfortable. And
Yeah.
that's okay. There's a certain level of uncomfortability that you're gonna have, and you got to accept that this is not always gonna be fun per se.
And you could
Will
build
you
on.
die? No.
You could build on your gear. I mean, the reason I say boots is because for the first year we went out, I was obviously on a budget, a much stricter budget. And I believe I had some Tidway, however you want to say.
Yeah, whatever.
And they were great boots, and they felt great at home. But wearing them in the backcountry seemed like my foot had a lot of room to slide around, which you can get,
Bushes.
Yeah. So then pivoting from those to obviously a much more expensive boot, the crispy Laponias. I had the Laponia 2s. Those were the hot Laponias that were out at that time. But transitioning from those Tidway, whatever, those boots to a crispy boot, and I don't know, just obviously, like you said, socks can make a difference too. But that upgrade in boot, that was a game changer for me.
For my first, I would say I think I ran. It was either 2 or 3 years. I remember where I bought them. I bought them when I was in Boone on rotation. That first year I went when I was my last year of middle school. I bought them from I don't know if it was like Payless shoes or something like that. They were Timberland orthotic sole shoes, and those were pretty decent boots. But then I switched to Colorado 2s, and I ran those for years. And then I got some Laponia 3s. So I have Laponia 3s and Colorado 2s. I'm not going to need boots for a long time.
Yeah.
And and then I run the sheep feet inside of those. And then for me, I run these exact socks. This is a merino wool. So I think it's like a 90% merino polyester or nylon blend or whatever. I run that against my foot. And then I run a longer merino over top of that. And even so like say if we're packing in and we're going into a spot for 5 to 7 days or whatever we're going to do, or even if we're truck camping or whatever, doesn't matter. I will bring a bunch of these liner socks, and if I got to keep, and then I'll bring like 2 pairs of the other socks at minimal. That would be most minimal. And then if you have to, you rotate that outside sock, but you switch your liner every day.
Yeah, yeah.
Even if you go and wash your pair that you wore yesterday and hang it up, you want that liner to be good against your foot. And so I usually run a tighter liner and a bigger foot. I run my boot a half size up because I also run the sole, and I also run the
2 pairs of socks system. Yeah.
But I'm sweaty. I'm a sweaty person.
Yeah, yeah.
And so if you're not sweaty, maybe you don't need to do that. But I still do believe running a liner sock and then an outside sock. And I'm a big merino guy for stink and for temperature regulation. You just can't really beat it. It doesn't hold up as long as synthetics, but synthetics get real stinky real fast for me.
Yeah, yeah.
And merino can too over time, but not as bad. Not as bad.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, just having a good foot system, it's huge.
I would say that's a necessity. Maybe you don't need the most expensive boot, but socks. Like he's saying with the socks, I think it's imperative to have that system down pat. And again, I know I keep saying it, but knowing your stuff, knowing how your body responds to these things that we're telling you,
how to tie your boots,
how tight they need to be, how loose they need to be for you to have enough support, how much pressure you need to have on the top of your foot versus your ankle. There's science to it. There's stuff that you got to figure out. Everybody's different.
Your feet swell. You've been putting miles on them. You're at elevation. They get bigger. If you wrench the top of this down, the top of your foot's going to be real sore.
Yeah.
So I leave this loose, and then my ankle is wrenched down tight.
Yeah.
And I got it locked in with those locks.
Yeah.
So I should do a video on how I tie my boots. I was thinking about that the other day because I've been trying to wear my boots more.
Yeah.
Especially with soles and just wearing boots all the time or wearing weight on your feet with your boots.
Yeah.
It's different.
For sure. The Laponias though, dude, those suckers are light, but they got just the right stabilization factors in it
too, though, man. I don't know. Right now, I'm planning on running my Laponias. That's what I did last year, and then they got soaked, completely soaked, and they just would not dry. And I ran Colorados, and I will say they're stiffer boots, so they do help with like prevent you from having like calf fatigue. I will say that. I like a stiffer boot. Those are 4 flex, I think. Colorados, the Pony 3s are going to be 3 flex, maybe even 2.5.
I think they're 2 or 3, somewhere around there.
But yeah, it might be 2. And there's benefits to both. It's just whatever's comfortable. I mean, right now I've been wearing my Laponias a lot, but I may end up running Colorados. I may run Laponias one day, and I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah,
back to my Colorados, but not, I mean, and I've accumulated. This is a gear I've accumulated over time. It's not like I just like
went out, dropped it all.
And if you got that kind of money, fine. And everybody's like, oh, whatever. I still got bills like everybody else.
Yeah,
still got debt. But
yeah,
I did. Crispy boot is a good boot. They really are.
Yeah,
not just because of whoever wears them or whoever wears them.
No, they make it.
They make a boot.
I mean, they're more expensive for sure, but you pay that money, and you're not going to need a boot for some time.
For a while, as long as you're taking care of them, that's important.
Yeah.
You got to take care of your stuff. But that's the same with bags and other things. Like, I mean, you always say that, but then it's like right before the trip, you're like, well, I need this and I need that. And I'm like, I realized that the other day, and I'm like, but then you're like just buying some things that you need. But most of the time for me, it's just a lot of food.
Yeah.
A lot of food. Try not to wait till the last minute to get your food, because if you like beef stroganoff and you can't find it anywhere, and then it's not on Amazon or whatever,
then it doesn't ship.
You're like waiting for it to get there, and don't wait till last minute.
Yeah.
Don't wait till you're in the field to figure it out. Don't wait to do anything. Just know your stuff.
Yep.
Know your plan. Know your hunt plan. Have a backup and a backup to your backup and a backup to that backup and a backup to that backup and a backup to that backup. Because I promise, even with all the e-scouting that I've done, it's always going to go south. Not always, but you might have to pivot.
Yeah.
And
you have to be willing to pivot.
And it's easy to stay in country because you're like, all the elk are here.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's not always what you got to do. It's like, well, if you're not physically visualizing them and they're not talking, you can ambush hunt, sure. But you can only do that for so long.
Right.
And then you're like, if they're not in there, they're not in there. You got to go somewhere else. It might have been there 2 weeks ago, and then Joe Schmo came over here and blew them out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but anyway.
Yeah. So to recap, a couple things that we think you got to have: med kit, comms, a decent pack, a decent boot / foot care, obviously nutrition. But the main message to take away probably from this podcast is know your equipment. Just outright know what you're working with, know how your body responds to it, know what you like and what you don't like, what feels good and what doesn't feel good. Become very much acclimated with your equipment prior to going into the backcountry. Backcountry is not where you learn your equipment. So,
Right.
Yeah, that's kind of a quick recap. You got anything else to say?
Better have a good relationship with Jesus Christ our Lord going in.
Yeah.
Serious. I'm not kidding, because anything can happen to A1. I'm not saying that chances are, but you don't know.
Right.
And two, you're gonna be praying a lot. So you better have a good line direct to him.
Yeah.
And honestly, man, like, I'm being serious with that, but that keeps you center. You better have something to keep you center out there. That God first, family second, but you better have those things that your why. You better know it.
Yeah.
You better know your why, and that's the stuff that then makes me come back a better man. You know, There's been times, man, especially it's usually when I'm alone, that it rings the best for me. And you're out there in the middle of nowhere and feeling so small.
Yeah.
And there's been times where it just feels like God's come and sat right down beside me.
Amen.
And it's a great feeling.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
To remind you, that's something I love about it. And then we'll wrap this up. It's like when you're out there, how small you are. How nothing you actually are.
And how mighty he is. You're looking at all this beautiful creation, and yes, you're so small, but you know, our God, my God, made all of this in 6 days and rested on the seventh. Like that to me was,
you're just you're just the ant in the scheme of everything.
Yeah.
Like, you're very small, and that leads into, I could get into something else. You know, I want to glorify the Lord more in this, but you're nothing. You're not nothing, but in the scheme of everything, we think far too much of ourselves.
Sure.
You know, and that was something that in my last hunt that I think the Lord made happen the way that he made it happen, because I am a good hunter and I do come in prepared. But it was just like, to me, it felt like it was just him allowing me to grow as a man. And then right at the time where it was made for me to get my kill, it was like, just remember that was me.
yeah.
It wasn't in you, boy. It wasn't in what your skill is.
I gave you those talents, kind of.
I provided you this.
Yeah.
Because it was at that time where I was really starting to feel down. That morning, that morning that I heard that bugle for the first time, I was late going in because I was getting tired. I was getting wore out emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
And, but I just kept seeking the Lord, and that was keeping me in the field.
Yeah.
And then he blessed me.
Amen.
And I'm going to give him the glory for it all then, and I'll give him the glory for it now this year when I tag, because it's all him, not in me.
Right.
And that's just what it is, man. He provides that. And if he doesn't provide it,
he's still good.
I'm still blessed.
Yeah.
But all the same, I'll finish with that because we've got a little long on this one. But
yeah,
when you get talking about hunting in gear, man, we could sit here for hours. I wish we had the phone where we could do like a Joe Rogan 3.5 hour podcast.
Long form.
Megan and Katie might kill us.
Yeah.
But we could sit here and
they're
going to
give us crap anyhow.
Yeah.
They were like, keep it short, guys. But I don't know.
Hour 15 is not bad.
It's not terrible.
To kind of be at, but
hopefully you guys have enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Obviously, as you can tell, we've enjoyed doing it and bringing content. Again, we don't know everything. We don't claim to know everything. We've tried to prep ourselves on the hunts that we've been. We've tried to better ourselves as whitetail hunters, elk hunters. Obviously, we as competitive nature, we want to be the best that we can be, but we by no means claim that we're the best. We by no means claim that we have all of the information that everyone needs. However, we do enjoy sharing what we know, our experiences with you all, and we hope that you guys are enjoying what we're bringing out to you.
That's it. And like Cameron said, we just know what works for us. We know how to prepare because we've been burned.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so it's just little things you learn along the way. And somebody's helped me jumpstart in certain ways, whether that's listening to Dan or Brian Call or just some random dude on YouTube that was showing me how he packed his bag. Like, I mean, somebody's helped me get to where I am to learn a couple things that I've learned. And so I hope that if you listen to this, that maybe you pick up on some kind of nugget from us and that you can use it to figure out what works for you and apply for you. And, if nothing else, then I hope that you heard in this that Jesus Christ is Lord.
Amen.
And, at the end of the day, I'll say this, that's what it's all about.
It's all that matters.
So yes, we love hunting and everything, but that's what it's all about. So that's what I'm trying to bring you here as well. What Cameron's trying to bring you here as well is not only just what we're passionate and we love about, but the good news. And if this was the last words you ever heard from me say, that He is real and He will save you.
Amen.
And you give your life to Him, you won't regret it. So
amen.
I'll end on that. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And as always, keep pressing play.
Until next time, guys.
See you later.